In this segment, we'll be wrapping up our series on surface water rescue with a look at some of the training that took place in our second class. In particular, we'll be looking at surface deployed swimmer rescue, boat training, and paddleboard rescue training. The Department of Fire Program's Surface Water Rescue curriculum is based on the National Fire Protection Association's standards 1670 and 1006. NFPA divides water rescue into 5 separate disciplines: surface water, swift water, dive, ice, and surf. In keeping with NFPA 1006, the standard on technical rescuer professional qualification, the surface water training is broken down into Level 1 and Level 2.
I was interested in taking surface water rescue because I'm on the Marine team, Virginia Beach, and I know a situation is going to happen where I might possibly have to get in the water and save somebody. So I wanted to make sure I had all the tools to be able to do that.
The training that we just went through, I believe, would be useful not only for the Marine team, but other members of the department, especially that are ones that are located close to the waterways, beach, as well as maybe the heavy rescues that get involved in a lot of the Marine programs, the hazmat team, the tech team.
Normally offered as 2 separate 20-hour courses, it can also be combined into one 4 or 5 day long course.
It helps you take away some of the unknowns, also gives you some confidence, and also gets familiar with the equipment that you're going to be operating in if and when you have to go make a rescue in the water.
Level 1 is designed to introduce students to the basic principles of surface water rescue of victims in confined water or water whose movement is less than 1 knot.
My expectation of the class was kind of like what I experienced when I did lifeguard training at the rec center. I kind of expected that, but it was completely different with cold water rescue and with tethering lines and with people that are actually pretending to be combative.
Students are required to be able to swim 100 yards wearing a personal flotation device in less than 8 minutes in order to participate in the class. Students receive training in planning the response, proper personal protective equipment selection, information gathering, personal survival and self-rescue skills, reach and throw rescue techniques, and boat-assisted rescue and recovery techniques, which includes both motorized and non-motorized operations, emergency operations such as recovery of an overturned boat by broaching, and the use of alternative rescue craft like rescue paddleboards.
One of the benefits of the training is the same thing we do by doing SCBA training and doing live burns, utilizing the marine equipment that we have. It's just to identify mine, I know the other people, your physical and mental limitations to let you know when is the appropriate time to go in the water, make the rescue, and when is the wrong time, and when you need to find and think of another plan or come up with another plan.
The most difficult part about the course for me was the dry suits you got to wear. In the cold water, you got these dry suits and they're inherently buoyant. And I grew up swimming on the swim team and surfing, and it is a whole different ballgame when you're in your dry suits. You go from being a good swimmer to being a pretty awful swimmer real quick. And so dealing with that was by far the most difficult part, was swimming in a dry suit. The takeaway from the course for me was that most of the year in Virginia Beach water is cold, and we're going to have to wear, our dry suits or cold water PPE, and just how wearing that gear and effectively going to save somebody is not the same at all as if you don't have the gear on. So the takeaway is how hard it would actually be wearing the right PPE.
Level 2 expands upon the Level 1 curriculum to instruct the students in the techniques necessary to perform a GO rescue in the same environment. Topics to be covered include water entry techniques, defensive tactics for stressed or panicked victims, direct contact rescues, and managing water rescue incidents. Due to the in-water requirements of Level 2, participants must pass a more demanding swim test prior to participation. The students must swim 300 yards in 12 minutes or less. A PFD may be worn if desired. Tread water for 5 minutes unaided, and tow a victim while wearing a PFD 100 yards. There is no time limit on the victim tow. Each class consists of a short lecture session, followed by an introduction to the skills in a controlled pool environment, further development of the skills in an open water environment, and finally, a series of realistic scenarios under real-world conditions. At the end of the training, the students have a good working introduction to the knowledge, skills, and techniques necessary to conduct rescues in the surface water environment.
Hug the tube with your feet. Use your legs. Squeeze in tight. Now grab this ring with your inside hand. All right, keep your head there. Now suck in nice and tight. Yes, sir. All right.
Things that surprised me the most, I'm actually relatively new to the water rescue program, so I had a lot of things that were kind of a humbling experience. Operating in the cold waters and not knowing exactly how our gear is going to react. The suits that we've been issued and also the gloves and the booties worked very well. Kept everyone that I spoke to, my crew, myself, I felt warm and comfortable operating in the water. Also just some of the local knowledge, understanding the currents, some of the things that you might be faced with if you have to make any rescues in the water.
But, as with any training program, this is only the beginning. True competency can only be acquired by continuous study and the repeated application of the skills under a variety of environmental conditions, both in training and on actual calls for service. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or you're interested in joining the Marine team, you can contact me at the information shown below on the screen.